I'm David Gadarian, and this is The Flip Story. Sam, welcome to the show.
Hey, buddy, good to be here. Thanks for having me on, man.
Our pleasure, our pleasure. So, Sam, before we go back in time, let's take a little look at the present. You're a Davy Award winner. You've got tons of downloads, and you're running a nonprofit. For those meeting you for the first time, what does the Sam Mitchell brand look like today?
The same Mitchell brand looks like today and a confident man with a lot of accomplishments that sometimes he is surprised he's done himself.
Ah, So I want to go back to Indiana. You've spoken about this medical model of autism, this idea that you were diagnosed to be managed. Take me back to those early school years. Were you in a traditional classroom, a special room?
Yep,
What
I
did
was in a early classroom with a float pass, as we call it. So maybe that's where you would do the general lesson, maybe math notes. Then you go to the resource room where you got extra time on tests, accommodations, maybe someone read the test to you so you could comprehend the questions better. For middle school, I was in the general education classroom, but I had a TA with me at all points during classes.
Yeah, and so
Tag
that
team teaching in retrospect.
what's that?
Tag team teaching in retrospect.
Okay. Love that. And so when you look back on that, did that feel like a safety net or did it feel like a little bit of a direction that maybe was less helpful? I don't know. You tell me, what was
It
your
was, oh my
experience?
gosh, brother, it was helpful. It was
Yeah.
100% helpful, my friend. You can't complain about the help I got. I think our school maybe not the best at some aspects when it comes to education, but they did nail the special education aspect to the ground.
Oh, that's fantastic. So, and that's great to hear that that's been your experience. So as we start to kind of move forward a little in your journey, um, there's an emotional weight to being told your natural way of existing is maybe not the same as everyone else's. And what I think is really interesting, Sam, is you decided to kind of look at that and take the opposite direction and become very public facing. You delivered a TED talk, which was a big deal at the time. You've got it into podcasting. You're a very active speaker. Um, was moving in that direction, what was that like? Was that scary? Did it feel like it was a natural
It
progression?
was scary, my friend, because for the longest time I thought, well, people don't ever listen to me. Why would they listen now? Turned out I had to gain some confidence for people to listen and build my own network for people to listen. Because I'll just be honest,
Yeah,
the sad truth is networks don't come to you. You have to build your own network.
that makes sense. And let's talk about that a little bit. That confidence piece. Do you mind walking folks through how you kind of gain that confidence? What
I
gave
gained
you
confidence by realizing what I was doing was incorrect and people pleasing, and I had to come to terms with people pleasing is a crutch. And I think for some may who listen to this will disagree, but personally, people pleasing made me worse. It made me more depressed. It made me feel more isolated. It made me feel no matter what I did, I would still do something wrong. When I stopped people pleasing, I felt like I did something right.
was that because you were trying to please yourself at that moment, or what made you feel like you were doing something right there?
I think that's part of it, but I also think I didn't have to live to anyone's standards. I mean,
Huh.
I still know right from wrong. You probably won't see me robbing a bank anytime soon, hopefully.
Right.
And I don't intend to. But my point is, I lived the way I chose to live.
Oh, that's wonderful. So who in your life, and maybe it was you, maybe it was someone else, but who saw the CEO Sam before the rest of the world did, and what
Family,
your family?
family,
Yeah,
family saw it, and I think they knew I would be successful. I think they just saw I had to mature and grow up a little bit.
right. That's wonderful to have that network. And so what did that system look like as you were starting to move into more of a public facing view, cameras were on? How did you get the support there?
Well, I still had family, but then I also reached out to a lot of people, and then just some people heard about me and thought, wow, the work I'm doing is really relatable and actually someone understands what I went through. They see that this diagnosis of autism was never dreadful. They
Alright.
believe what I believe.
Yeah. Well, that's awesome. So, alright, so let's stay there. So you got this community, this group that sees you out there in the public, you're talking, you are to some extent, the face of a lot of these folks, the public face. Maybe they're not quite as comfortable going and being public and forward and speaking and podcasting and what have you. Do you feel, any pressure to live up to that group?
Oh, yeah, daily pressure. I live up to standards that may be higher sometimes than others, but I realize that we're also human and we make mistakes. And I realize that life can change in an instant, and maybe I lose that community, that advocacy work, what I built, but I take it day by day.
Huh. It's fascinating. So you're in this space, you're taking this in day by day, to use your words. Um, you're pretty active. I can see it. I can see it with your nonprofit. I could see it with your podcast. You're something around 200 episodes, which is a lot. I can appreciate that, just for some perspective to the rest of the audience. That doesn't happen overnight. That's a real fierce level of commitment, a real fierce focus, if you will. So you're in this world of entrepreneurism. You're living it. Um, how do you kind of play with some of your autism versus your need to go? How have you been able to flip your I guess your business operation to work with your autism instead of fighting it?
I think the way I flipped it was honestly people supporting it day by day. I mean, my first person who I ever took in the wing and took me under my wing was someone I just learned from school, and it wasn't anyone special at the time span. And he is now, but at the time span, he wasn't. Sorry, buddy. But anyway, at the time, it was just a regular old person who all of a sudden wanted me to be a sponsor and he wanted to sponsor the show. Okay. All of a sudden, now we're starting a board. Okay. And I know you could sponsor podcasts. At the time, I thought that was just for radio, movie, and television, but here we are today with several other sponsors. My also board president wanted to start a gala. Okay, I never done a gala, but what the heck, we'll see. And then next thing you know, in 2022, I'm getting invited to speak in Oklahoma. So what I really did was, although not knowing what was happening, I never said no.
Hmm. Like, that's a great lesson for everybody. I think that's just unbelievable. That's just a really neat piece of advice. So,
I've learned to say no a little better, but most of the time I say no. I mean, most of the time I say yes, sorry. Most of the time I say yes.
right. No, I get that. I think with, you get more and more coming at you, so you have to maybe make some of those choices. So, um, and I guess we're kind of in that space, right? A lot of the show is about human potential. We've talked about being able to say yes to opportunity, maybe a few no's here and there sprinkled in. Um, but some of that mentality. Um, so in terms of kind of your show, we touched on this a little bit in terms of your essence, who you are. At what age did you came to this realization that that you're gonna stop focusing on pleasing everyone to some extent, to stop apologizing and to really
16,
move into
16,
leadership?
at 15, it hit me so hard. It was
Yeah,
a literal punch to the stomach every day. And after a while, you get tired of getting hit. I mean, there's a reason why boxers don't just keep getting stood there and hit and hit and hit and hit every day.
right.
Eventually, Rocky Balboa or Mr. T is going to snap after several punches.
Uh-huh. So 16 was your kinda age. That feels young. That probably do you think that was because you took a lot of hits that you were more focused on the challenge, or do you think it was just
Probably. I
about
think I took a
maturity?
lot of hits, but it's also the type of person I am. I'm more of a doer than a waiter. I do stuff to make it happen. After 16 years, I'm sorry, but because maybe I'm less of a temperament person, not saying I'm a hothead, but I'm just maybe a little more patient,
Right.
or maybe because I'm a doer, I don't know. I think it's probably a combination of both. 16 years is enough to people please because I'm taking hits from the front and the back. Enough's enough. So the change came from anger and despite.
Yeah.
And as sad as angry I got, it's bittersweet because while I was sad that I had to get that angry to cross the finish line, I'm happy I got that angry because I feel so much better about myself today compared to when I was 14.
Oh, that's amazing. I was gonna ask how that felt, and I think you described it really well. So, did you feel at 16 that you made this turn and you had confidence in it, or was it kind of a slow
Yeah, but I
play?
think I was a little too confident.
Okay. What do you mean by that?
I had a I had a ego the size of a corn. Or the
Okay.
I had an ego the size of a corn maze.
Right. Okay, and then you kinda recalibrated.
I recalibrated, I was like, "Oh, okay, this is too much confidence, let's take it down a little bit." Because I don't
R
wanna be arrogant, no one wants arrogance.
right,
They
right,
want
right,
confidence, but they don't want looking the muscle and you're Hulk Hogan it all the time.
right. Well, that's just, I think some interesting perspective. I mean, I know at 16, I was in a very different headspace. Was nowhere close to as mature as kinda you've just described, of being able to make those big life pivots, and, I think that's really interesting. Do
Right,
you
well, I
fu
think another part of it too, and I don't mean to interrupt you,
No, no,
is
you're good.
the socializing aspect of it too.
Yeah,
For the longest time of being 15 younger, my parents tried to teach me social skills, and they did their best, but now I see it as they were teaching, but at the time span when I was 15 and below, I saw it as nagging. And I
huh,
know that they were trying to look out for me now, but back then I was like, gosh, guys, I can only socialize the way I know how to. And some of it, yeah, I'm sorry, maybe inappropriate, quirky, but that's what I know. And I think for the most part, I'm doing okay. But it's still not enough. Screw you guys. But now I realize, oh, I should have probably listened. So what I did was, well, since no one's really going to teach me and my parents are going to nag me about it, I'm going to learn myself how to socialize. And there are some resources out there that help me, like speech therapy, but most social skills came from me learning how to socialize through the media realm, through watching other people, watching my parents.
right,
And I think today I've progressed with those social skills. It's still not the best, but it's probably on the grade level, C plus to B minus, compared to when I was 13, it was probably C minus to an F.
right, and how hard was that when you were in the middle of you made that choice to say, "I'm gonna flip into this idea of I'm gonna really focus on my socializing, my communication skills." How hard was that for you to kinda to do? Was it just a natural once you committed, you were
It
just
was natural because I was
yeah.
so mad. It was natural because I was literally that mad.
And the anger was a motivation, or was the
Yeah,
anger
in
a
retrospect,
force to
yes, that's
push?
a great way to put it, actually. Very good way to put it. The anger was so motivating that at the time span, I didn't care. And I did have a little worrisome because I thought, well, maybe people pleasing is the right way because what I might do might come across as too strong and I might get punched in the face. Clearly, though, that didn't happen. And thankfully, I'm glad it didn't.
Right.
But the anger took over that little worrisome I had.
And how'd you let go of the anger, if you don't mind me asking? You seem like you're in a really good space right now. I don't mean to presume that you are, but
Oh, no, don't worry. You're not trying to poke the bear at all.
yeah, yeah,
I think it's just over time healing,
yeah.
just as time goes on, because I'm no longer in school. I don't have people to poke me in the back with pencils. I'm not going to ever hear a tweet that says, you're dumb ASF again. It's just knowing that what happened in school, for the most part, isn't going to happen now.
Right. And so having some time away has allowed you to get some of that healing, it sounds
Right.
like.
And I'm still not completely healed. I won't lie to you. I still have days where that
Mm.
15-year-old comes out and I'm, looking around, thinking I'm going to get poked in the back again and still kind of mad.
Yeah.
Most days it's like, it's not here. Why in the heck would that even bother me?
That is so hard for, I think, so many people, is to say it's no longer here, let it go, move on. It's interesting that you've been able to do that for the most part, and that
I think
you
it's just the way I think is part of it. Like,
yeah,
I'm a very realistic person. Sometimes, even though I've been at the points unrealistic, because I am a firm believer in sometimes where you should be able to do unrealistic but not harmful solutions. I'm also smart to realize, well, it's crazy. But am I
right.
willing to do it sometimes? Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that's part of being human. I think humans make some crazy, amazing decisions, and, sometimes they work out. Oh, okay. So Sam, I think I know I shared with you one of the features of my show is the Flip Story recipe book. Um, so I'm gonna invite you now to contribute your recipe to the show, your whatever your ingredients are, the methods, maybe the instructions that someone listening who maybe feels stuck in a system can take and apply and move right into the driver's seat.
All right. Well, let's tell you that recipe right now then. So the ingredients would be not caring. The ingredients would be also a positive attitude, will and determination, and probably not forgetting where you come from. The steps are you go through the trauma of dealing with the poking, getting called dumb ASF. Next step is you start to realize what you're doing is incorrect. And you finally come to the conclusion people pleasing is a crutch. Step three, you work on your confidence and you work at to where you're not feeling crap about yourself. Plus, you don't have the ego the size of a balloon. You want it in the happy middle where you're confident but still human. And then the last step I would say is keep living life to what you want to, but never forget what you did or came from. Because as much as I hate, I had to go through it. I don't want to get rid of it. It's a part of who I am. And you should have to get rid of a part of who you are, even if it is the worst story alive.
Right? That's a unbelievably powerful recipe, Sam. Thank you for sharing that.
It's simple but to the point, the way I like to put it.
Well, Sam, this has been unbelievable. It's been a really wonderful experience for me. Um, wanna As we start to kind of round the back end, I want to make sure people can follow your mission. They can catch up with you. So, where are some of the best places to find you? Um, Maybe to even invite you in to speak. How do people connect with you?
Oh, I'm not a hard guy to find, but you can find me on your favorite media platform. Just Google me in your search engine optimization. Something will pop up. Don't search my name though, Sam Mitchell. Search Autism Rocks and Rolls because you get a basketball player. I'm saying that because I've done the research myself.
I'll put some links in the show notes as well, if that's all right with you.
All right, buddy.
Um,
Thank you for doing that. I appreciate it. And thank you for your time,
Absolutely.
man.
Yeah, it's been this has been absolutely amazing. So thank you for being here. Thank you for sharing. I mean, it's been really illuminating, I would say. And for everyone listening, that's Sam Mitchell and I'm David Gadarian, and we'll see you the next time on the Flip Story.